This is Mark. Last year, I stopped speaking to my dad. It wasn't one big argument. It was decades of small things that were never addressed. Constant criticism, dismissive comments, feeling like nothing I did was ever quite enough. Even when our conversations were fine, I'd hang up feeling tense and angry. The final straw was a conversation where he laughed off something that genuinely hurt me and told me I was being too sensitive. I realised I'd been hearing that my entire life, so I stopped calling. Then I stopped answering, and eventually, months passed. What I didn't expect was how complicated the silence would feel. On one hand, there's a relief. I feel calmer, lighter. On the other, there's guilt. A constant voice reminding me that he's my dad, and that people don't usually walk away from their parents. I don't miss the relationship we had. I miss the relationship I wish we could have had. I don't know if walking away was an act of self-respect or just the easiest way to stop getting hurt. My question is, how do you know when protecting yourself is worth the grief that comes with it? A part of me feels with this situation that maybe too much time with this person is damaging, and not enough time with this person is damaging. And I wonder if there's this balance that you have to achieve where you don't let this person drain you too much. That's the thing when it comes to people that you clash with. You're different people. That's what this is. And that's okay. You can be different people, and people can have different perspectives. The only tough part of this is that it's your dad. And the issue, if we attack what you're doing wrong first, which isn't much, but what you're doing wrong, and what we all do, is we have expectations on people to be a certain way, to do certain things. But the thing with being human is you can't really force people to be a certain way that they're not. And you're idolizing in your head this figure, this person that you need. And he's not that person. Unfortunately, he's not that person right now. If you want to add a little bit of hope onto it, he's not that person right now. And that's okay as well. We're not perfect. We don't have everything figured out. You can't expect him to have things figured out and to be the way that you want him to be. I think one of the things we miss about other people is we miss the foundation, we miss the context behind the life that they've had, which creates them into the person that they are. And most of the time, if we was in their shoes, we'd more than likely would be the same way that they are. And it's not personal. And it feels that way when it comes to family, but it's not personal. It's the way they are, and it's the way they've experienced life that has formed these habits, this way that they are. And some are healthy, and some are unhealthy, and some are what you want, and some are not what you want. And you've got to, in a sense, pick and choose what you take from your dad. If you don't like the advice that he's giving on certain things, don't take that advice in that area. Now, one thing that most men don't know is the skill of listening. We always want to give advice. Ironic, I know, because I'm literally giving advice, and that's kind of what I do now. But it's not that we don't listen or we can't listen. We don't know when to just listen and when to actually speak and give advice. And it sounds to me like you don't want advice off your dad. You just want his presence. You just want him to be there to nod along and listen to what you're saying. It's what it sounds like to me. And that's okay. Maybe you don't have anyone else in your life that will listen to you. Someone in your life that means that much to you. Someone in your life that means that much to you where you just want them to listen. To feel heard. And because we don't really know how to do that and when to do that, you have to say it to men. Listen, I know what your advice is going to be, but can you just sit here and just listen to what I'm telling you? I just need to get it off my chest. I need you just to hear this and keep your advice to yourself. Now, some people will say, yep, absolutely fine. And some people will struggle. I sometimes struggle keeping stuff inside me and not giving advice because I find it tough to watch someone struggle when you think you know the answer. But sometimes it's not about the answer in life. Sometimes it's about you figuring it out yourself. That's how you learn. I can give you the answer. I can teach you that lesson, but it doesn't always get ingrained in your mind until you've had that experience. That's why, as humans, we don't really relate to each other that much. Because we haven't walked in other people's shoes. So it's difficult to relate. It's difficult to understand and to not judge. But with this situation, it sounds to me like it just needs an honest conversation. Listen, this is what I want. I get you've grown up and you've had these experiences where you think that this is the answer. I'm being too sensitive. But just to let you know, Dad, that hurts me. And you know what? Yeah, I am a bit sensitive. Because by the sounds of it, you are a bit sensitive. But the issue you're having is you think it's an insult. You think it's a negative. You're not comfortable with who you are. Because a comment like that, if I'm not sensitive, wouldn't affect me. I'd be like, oh, I'm pretty sure I'm not sensitive, but all right. But you are sensitive. I'm sensitive. That's why I can say it. I am sensitive. And being sensitive just means you feel life a little bit more, a little bit deeper. And the only way to not be sensitive is to go through a lot of shit. To have a lot of tough moments happen in life that desensitizes you to most things. Now, I wouldn't want to wish that upon someone. Yeah, well, listen, they're a bit sensitive. So what we're going to do is we're going to put them through a load of shit and they'll become tougher. And then they'll be desensitized and then they'll be able to make the decisions that they want to make. You wouldn't do that to someone. Sure, there might be a benefit at the end of it, but you're not going to force that upon someone just to make them tougher and stronger. You got to let them do it themselves. So a lot of the time, our problems come from the fact that we're not comfortable in our own skin. I think when we've got problems with what other people are saying about us, commenting on, it's you are insecure. You have got an insecurity. You've got a sore spot. And that's the problem you should be attacking, not a person. People are anchors in your life. People are support in your life. That's what people are. People's purpose is for you to help them, for them to help you, and to just have presence. That's the main value of people. And then when they start saying things that hurt you, to me, I always see it as or there's something inside of you that you need to deal with because there's a little bit of truth to things that hurt you. And that's okay. Let's not shy away from that fact that, all right, I am a bit sensitive. It's not a negative. It's just who I am and how I am. Listen, some people in life can go through life and are very tough, very strong, mentally tough, mentally strong, and are resilient and can figure things out and find a way and know the answer and get there in one direct straight path. And it doesn't seem like it touches them, that it damages them at all. And then you've got some people that go through life, trip, fall, stumble, get hurt, get beaten, get bruised, cry, be upset, get angry, be happy one moment, be sad the next. And I think a thing we forget is we are all different. We have different ways of living life. And I can understand from the dad's perspective how it's tough watching someone go through life and not be resilient and not be tough, because it's a lot of pain. That's a tough life if you're not resilient, because there's a lot that goes on in life that can hurt you, that can damage you, that can affect you. And your dad sees that and just wants you to walk an easier path in life by being a certain way, by not being as sensitive. And that's just something that they've learned in that generation, because that's what worked for them in the situation that they grew up in. In the time they grew up in, I think that we all forget. We all grow up in different times. The life 40, 50 years ago is different to the life now. There's different circumstances. Different things are going on. So we're going to be brought up different. We're going to react different to the time that you're in. And that works for that time. And it might not work for you now in this time. Also, another factor, your dad might have an insecurity himself. Your dad might be sensitive. And the way he's coping is, again, not being his true self. And saying man up. Just toughen up. There's a case that it's correct where the person's doing what they're preaching and it works for them and it's not damaging them. But if it is damaging them, but they don't see it, you can see it. So you can take what they say with a little sprinkle of, I understand why you're doing it, why you're saying it. Because at the end of the day, I know I don't know everyone's situation, but 99% of the time, your parents love you. Your parents have the best intentions for you. Intentions. They might not do the best thing. You can't teach someone how to parent. You're just using your own experience in life and getting through it and teaching it. Oh, it worked for me, kind of. I think it feels like it worked for me, so I'll try this. There's no handbook on how to raise a person and how to be a perfect human. So take that in mind. When you're looking at people for support, they don't know the answer. They've had an experience in life that got them an answer, that worked for them. But I don't think, doesn't sound like the way for you is to ignore. I mean, I don't understand this, ignoring people. We'll just block you out. We just won't speak to you. That's not a solution. You just avoid it. And when has avoidance ever been the answer for something? The healthy answer for something is not avoidance. What are you running away from? Absolutely, this person might be toxic in your life. Why are you running? There's something inside of you that hasn't dealt with being able to be around that toxicity. And if you've not figured it out yet of how to be around that, you need to microdose yourself. You need to ease yourself into it. You don't have to go see your dad every day, every week, maybe not every month. Might only have to see him 2 times a year, but still see him. You can't. You're avoiding something, and you got to figure out why you're avoiding it. Why is this thing so toxic for you? Why does it affect you so much? Some people are draining. The other side of this coin, some people are draining, and some people you got to avoid. You got to not spend so much time with.